in that understanding, either way, either as a blue teamer, red teamer, purple teamer, you need to understand how to use the operating system. And we already know that OS simply means operating system. And what is OS? It is simply put, an operating system simply manages applications and programs. So it simply manages applications and programs. Simply put, when you're using your WhatsApp, that is an application, right? That is also the hardware and the software. That's like a software. The hardware is like the PC itself, the hard PC. You could go fix like the keyboard and those. How you're able to use both the keyboard and the application you're using, like WhatsApp or even this Google Meet, to be able to manage them together, and that's operating system. Now we know that in the history of operating system, it has always evolved. But we know that there are three major operating systems that we use. We have the Windows, we have the Linux, and then we have the Android. The Linux, the Mac falls under the Linux, and what is it called? Um, the Linux also Kali falls under the Linux, and then the Windows is like your home PC. Almost everybody knows how to use Windows, so we will not be talking about that because Windows is more like an interface operating system, so it's easy to use. You just click, click, click. But the Kali operating system is more of a command line operating system. So if you don't know how to make commands there, you will end up just downloading the operating system and not being able to navigate around it. But you need to have it in mind that the Kali operating system and the Windows operating system are just the same thing. The only difference, though there are many difference, like security difference, one, but in the line of my conversation, the difference is that one, you're making commands to access whatever you want to access on Kali, but on Windows, you are actually you're just clicking user interface. You're just clicking stuff to make stuff happen in your system. But in Kali, if you don't put the right command, Kali is not going to answer you. I had a joke, someone said, don't I think you should enjoy this. He said, honey, can you get me water? And he said, I didn't hear you. Use the sudo. And then the guy said, honey, okay, sudo honey, get me water. The guy was able to get the water for the lady. I'm just trying to explain that if you don't put the right command on Kali operating system, that's the Linux operating system, you will not get the right results. And then why does hackers use Kali? One of the reasons hackers would always use Kali, and I'm not saying this is not the only operating system hackers use. There are people who even design their own operating system. There's Ubuntu, there's different other operating system that hackers would always want to use. And I also teach people, if Windows, you find Windows easier to use, why not use it? If you find the Unix base, which is Mac OS, beautiful to use, why not use it? You don't have to necessarily use Kali because everybody is using Kali. But one of the beautiful reasons you would want to use Kali is Kali comes pre-installed with most of the tools you will need as an ethical hacker. Like every tool you'll be needing as an ethical hacker, Kali comes with it. So that is why I always recommend that you learn the fundamentals of how to use your Kali operating system. So I'm not going to be the one to hold this whole conversation. I just wanted to walk you through a few tips and tricks, understanding what the webinar is about before we switch fully into the webinar. Next thing I want to show you is how to install Kali and the rest. So one of the first thing we'll do is, if you want to install Kali, there are different ways you can install Kali. Okay, so you guys are going to just bear along with me. I am accepting the request at the same time speaking. So you're just going to walk along with me. Let me accept these people while we continue. Okay, so if you can still hear me, so if you can still hear me, this is VirtualBoss. Now there are different ways you can get your Kali installed into your PC. I've seen friends, or I have hacker friends, I like to call it hacker friends, who uninstall Windows totally from their PC and make it a complete Kali operating system. Then I have people who have it as a virtual machine. is sitting on their virtual machine. And I also have people who prefer to make it install it on their USB, and then when they plug in the USB, they are able to use the Kali. So it depends. Like I said, when it comes to hacking, look for what makes you comfortable and enjoy it. Don't do what every other person is doing. What you should do first is get the whole knowledge. You understand why you need this, why you need that, and then sit down and create your own working system as an ethical hacker. Because if you're doing what everybody is doing, after a while you become a script kiddie because you want to do everything because everybody is doing everything. You see, here in the cybersecurity world, there is a lot of knowledge that if you don't prioritize the knowledge according to where you're going to, you'll be trapped in a box because now you know so much, but you don't even know what to do with it, or you come to the point where you are confused. So let's assume you're using the virtual boss style. This is like saying a virtual machine on your PC with a virtualization sitting on your virtualization. So if you go to virtualboss.org, you can click on download. If you click on download, that's for those who don't already have Kali. That's what I'm trying to explain. If you don't already have Kali installed on your PC, this is the best way. And I recommend this for an absolute beginner. Don't make your PC entirely Kali. Start with a virtual boss. If you understand how to use the commands, you understand how to use Kali, then you can decide to uninstall Windows from your PC entirely and switch to Kali. Because if you do that to your system, you may never know how to navigate to videos, to movies, to pictures, and every information you need on your PC. So I recommend that the first thing to do is use it on a virtual boss first before you switch to, maybe when you're not becoming a pro, you can say, okay, I want to switch to making it my whole PC or operating system. I know some people to make it dual booting, but this is the simplest one I will tell you to start with. This is VirtualBoss. All you need to do is come here. If you're a window host, you select the window host. If you are a Mac host, depending your PC, you click each of them and it will start downloading. Obviously, I already have this downloaded, so I don't have to click it. Now, the next thing I need to do is, after I'm done downloading this, I'll come to Kali. This is the official website for Kali, which is kali.org. I'll click on this download link. If I click on this download link, if I click on the download link, it will bring me to these two options. Either do I want it as installer image or virtual machine. Now you already installed a virtual machine, so you would want to prefer to click this virtual machine option. Then it will bring you down here. Now there are different virtual machines you can use. There is a VMware, there is VirtualBoss, but if you follow properly, you realize that what you downloaded was VirtualBoss. So all you need to do is come here, click install, and it will start installing. I have this already. I don't have to install, but you can go through the process. If you have good network in your location, it should download fast enough. But if it doesn't, then it takes a lot of time because ordinary it's over 2.7 gig the file size. So when you're done downloading this, you would have to go back to your PC and run it as run your virtual boss, because you already go back to your download folder, run the virtual boss. Then on the Kali downloaded folder, you extract it. When you extract it, the next thing you do is you open the virtual boss, click import, and it will take you to the location where you already have that Kali installed or Kali extracted, and you pick it and add it, and that's it. Voila, you have an interface of your Kali. Now, I'm not going to be showing you all those process because of time, but let's assume you already have your Kali installed, and this is where this whole help webinar comes in, because we're going to be having a very awesome penetration tester, my friend, to help you show you the necessary commands you need to navigate around your PC as someone who already gotten started as a penetration tester, an ethical hacker into the cyberspace, but you want to use your PC, your Kali. I would want him to pick up from here by introducing himself and then teach us how to get into the interface of Kali, which I know he already has, and then how to make necessary commands. And then please remember to keep your questions, because I know a lot of things is going to get confusing, but that's it. Here in and cybersecurity, or as hackers. I don't like to say cybersecurity because it's like the umbrella. Here, as a hacker, things will get confusing, but if you stay at it, they get clearer. Three years ago when I started, it was so voluminous. When you're telling me to make an LS, I don't even understand what an LS was. But right now, I teach people, I train people in cybersecurity, I train people as website hackers, I train people as penetration testers. But I know that 3 years ago, I was being taught. I'm not saying I stopped learning, I learn every day, but now I have come to a level of knowledge. So whatever gets voluminous today, remember that we have a back channel. You can send us a message on our WhatsApp group. You can send me a private message. You can send him a private message. So let me allow him to continue with you guys while I keep accepting the request to join. So, Mr. Olakojo, I would want you to continue, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Weldy. Thank you for giving me this awesome opportunity. I'm very grateful. And thank you for also making me your guest in this wonderful meeting. So like you said, you mentioned the various way in which you can set Kali up as BMeta, dual built-in, WSL, and setting it up as a virtual machine. So today what I'm actually going to be focusing on is the basic Linux commands. Let me not make it basic. Let me just make it like a fundamental Linux command that every beginner in ethical hacking and penetration testing should know. So I'm just going to share my screen right now, like my entire screen. I'm gonna allow this. So I hope that's opening right away. Okay. So I hope we can see my screen now.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Can anyone see my screen?
Yeah, we can see
Very
your
good.
screen.
So
Click on the
Yes,
no.
yes.
starting with um, okay. So
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Kali Essentials for Hackers. The Kali Essential for topic aim to equip participants with the basic Linux command line skills and knowledge necessary to conduct ethical hacking and penetration testing. Moving on to the next slide, I have a table of contents, which is I've already grouped this fundamental Linux command, and I grouped them into four, which is file and directory commands, network commands, system and processes command, then the search and find command. So I'm just going to open up my terminal straight up. I'm going to open up my terminal. I can just do Control T. Oh, yeah, and once that is open, I can actually make this bold to Control Shift, so we'll be able to see that very well. So the first command on my list is I'm just going to go to my files and directory commands, and the first command on my list is the ls command. I'm going to brush this up, like I'm going to brush it up very fast, but I'm going to make it very explanatory. So I'll just switch tabs to my Q terminal and so we can see it at the background. So the first command on my list is the ls command, and the ls command is used to list files in a directory. Directory in the sense of folder, but when we are in the Linux environment, we don't call it a directory. We don't call it a folder. We call it a directory. So and what I just did now is I opened up a interactive shell. An interactive shell is like a terminal. It's not even like it's a terminal in which we input commands, and then the terminal actually types or give us back the command, give us back our output due to the command that was given to the interactive shell. So ls, in the sense, ls literally means that you actually print out every file in our present directory. And you can see when I actually type, I can clear my screen with the clear command. When I type ls, it actually print out every file in my home directory. And I can also use ls-l to check long listing about these files and folders, and we can see the file permissions here, we can see the owner, we can see the group, and we can see the sizes here, we can see the date it was modified last. So I'm just going to clear my screen, and we can do ls-a to see the hidden files in this my own folder. Then the next command on the list is cd, which means change directory, as the name implied. We can change directory. Okay, let's ls. Now, in some, I'm using a bash shell. I'm using a bash shell. We have different type of shell. We have ZSH, we have power, yes, we have PWSH, we have fish, we have different. Now, what's our bash is that it's actually colored, so you know your different files. You know that the files in blue are actually directories, and the file in white are like text files and script files and stuff like that. And the file in green are files that has already been given permissions, like they have already given permissions to run. So let me change directory to my desktop now, which is cd, and Linux is case sensitive. If I do d, small letter d, you see that Linux is actually going to wipe out the error for me, no such file or directory. But if I do cd and I do capital letter D and I click a tab just to complete that and I click enter, it actually change directory to my desktop. Now we're in my desktop already, and the next command on the line, I'm just going to clear my screen. The next command on the line is my mkdir command, which is literally the short form of make directory. Make directory is like actually creating a directory or a folder, like I actually said. So what you just have to do is mkdir, enter, then you can name your directory whatever you like. You can name it whatever you like. I can name it GoBuster. Well, it looks like I have GoBuster. Let me name it FFUF. Something like FFUF. I click enter. And when I do ls, I can actually see FFUF inside my desktop directory. The next command on the line, okay, I'm going to cd to FFUF. I want to create the rest of my command inside that list. The next command on the line is the touch command, and the touch command is actually used to create text files, or basically you can use the touch command to create empty files. Actually, empty files, any .php, .html, you can use to create any file. So what I'm just going to create a txt file. I can just name it touch secfortress.txt, and then I can click enter to that. And when I click ls, I can see secfortress.txt right over here. I can clear my screen again in order to see that. And now we know that secfortress.txt, like I said, you are creating an empty file. Now we are actually going to echo, like we are going to, the next command on the line is echo. We're actually going to send an input, or we're actually going to send letters, words, or sentences inside secfortress.txt so that we can be able to read the file. Now, if I do echo, all I just need to do is echo. Okay, let me just say I'm just going to put that in quotes. I love Linux. Then put that in quotes. Then C. Then I'm just going to put a greater than sign and secfortress.txt. Then I can click enter. And when I do ls, I can see secfortress.txt. The next command on the line is cat. Actually, I arrange this command sequentially so that it will, like, the order will be followed in the way I want the command to be. So I can just do cat secfortress. I'll just click tab and I can see I love Linux. So I'm going to clear my screen. Basically, what the cat command is actually it's wipe out whatever is in that file. It's only just to like wipe out whatever in that file to our terminal. That's it. So the next command is pwd, which means print working directory. Our print working directory can be, as you can see, the working directory I'm working from is desktop/ffuf, home secfortress desktop/ffuf. Now I can cd to my home directory using a cd file, and I'm back in my home directory. And if I do print working directory again, I can see that this directory actually changed because I'm actually in my own directory now. So I can clear my screen once more. And the next command is who am I? Who am I means which user am I logged in as? I don't know if you have actually, because I did a sysadmin role before. So in sysadmin, there are commands like su, user delete, user add, whereby you manage users, which is not actually focusing on this topic. It's not sysadmin and penetration testing or ethical hacking are never the same thing. So the thing is, it's only in terms of security that they actually matter to each other. See, the thing is, the who am I command actually print out who we are logging as on the system, and we can see that I'm logging as sec for trace, which is this sec for trace right there. So my next command is the file command. Now the file command is actually used to check what type of a file we actually have. Let me do the ls command to see. Okay, I have different files here. Let me choose pro.gts.config. I can actually do file, the tab for auto completion, and I can see issue test the login, or should I say, I got it from a SMB server message block server from a. So file command actually does is it actually tells you what type of a file we are currently dealing with. That's what the file command actually do. We can actually more like telling us the header. Then we can actually use sif tool. Now sif tool is more advanced than the file command. If I do sif tool and I do prod, I can actually see more information. Now we can see the version of SF2. We can see the directory that this pro.its is located at. We can see the file size. We can see the file modification date. We can see the permissions, and we can see the type of extension it has. We can see the encoding and the new lines, and we can even see the line count. And I'm definitely sure this tool is not live, because even if I clear my screen and I do cat prod and I press tab enter and I count this line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I'm definitely having 8 lines. If I use nano, I will actually be able to see like the lines. The lines are no wrap. That's why we can actually see more than 8 lines here. So I'm just going to clear my screen, and then the next tool on the line is mv. Now the mv command is used to move files from one folder, from one directory to another. So let's say I have index.html and I want to move index.html to download. So what I just need to do is mv index.html to download, right? I can just say /sec, my own folder tab downloads. And once I have that, okay, sec for trace, sorry about that, /downloads. One thing is that the mv command is case sensitive. If you are not, like I said, not case sensitive, if you don't specify if you are not being specific, you might miss your files, or you might not even see the file again. So if I click enter and I list, I will not see index.html here again. But when I cd to downloads, when I cd to my download folder and I click ls, I will definitely see index.html somewhere. Yeah, I got index.html somewhere. So you can see that the mv command is used to move one file from one directory to another. And the mv command can also rename a file. Let's say I have index.html normally in my downloads folder. I can mv index.html to, let's say, ola.html. And if I ls this time, I won't actually see index.html, I'll see ola.html. You can see that. And the file still remains the same. So all I just need to do is to clear my screen once more and go to the next command, which is cp. The cp command is used to copy, as usual, it's used to copy from one directory to another. Cp command is used to copy from one directory to another. We can do cp as usual, the same way we moved our file. We can do cp and okay, let me cp ola.html into /home/sec-fortress. Click enter. And I will cd one more time to my own directory and I'll click ls. I should see ola.html right here. So I can actually clear this once more. After clearing this, the next command on the line is chmod. The chmod command is actually a very useful command. Why? Because let me take, for example, I want to explain this in detail, because this is where many beginners fail to understand what the chmod command actually does. Let's say I open this test document now. Okay, I'm going to make this big. And then let me first of all run the command. Let me do ls first and find one file that I really like here. Okay, let's say ola.php. Yeah, let's say ola.php. Let's say ls dash l ola.php. And I can see read write dash read dash dash read dash dash as usual. Now, what this actually means is that the read, let's assume that read is actually 4. Let's assign 4 to read. You get what I'm trying to say? Let's assign 4 to read and we name that R. Let's assign W to 2. I will name that write. And there's one last one that is not included here, which is the execute command. Let's assign 1 to execute equals to X. And when we total this, which is 4 plus 2, which is equals to 6 plus 1, which is equal to 7. 7 is equals to total. Now, like I said, this is the group. This is the owner of the file. This is the group. So one thing about this file is, if I'm to change this file permission now, if I want Tech Fortress not to be able to like change anything on this file, I don't want Tech Fortress to be able to do anything on this file. What I'll do is, when we add this permission, that means if Tech Fortress have 4 plus 1, it will have read and execute. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. If Tech Fortress have 4 plus 1, which is 5, it will have read and execute. If Tech Fortress have 4 plus 2, it will have read and write, which is what actually happened here. 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. That's what Tech Fortress have here. So let me change that. Let me change read and write to only read only. Okay, wait. Let me first of all use Nano, a text editor. Nano is a text editor. It's more like the cat command, but you can actually edit text. It's not only for viewing text. So let me do Nano ola.php. And okay, more like, so okay, let me just add a line like I love Linux into this line. Yeah, I love Linux. Control X, yes, enter. And then I do cat ola.php. I can see I love Linux there. Yeah. So I can clear my screen. And all I just need to do is, I mentioned I wanted to give Ola only, I wanted to give Tech Fortress only read. You will not be able to change the file. You will not be able to write I love Linux there again. What I can do is ch mode, and I'll just change it to read. We'll take our cheat sheet right over here, which is only for read. And then we'll leave the rest, which is read. We'll check our cheat sheet here again, which is read, which is equal to 4. We'll add 4 again, and we'll add another 4. .php, and I click enter. Straight up, if I do ls-l ola.php, now you can see that Ola can only read this file. He cannot write to the file again. Even if I try to do nano ola.php, you will see file ola.php is unwritable, which I was able to write it a few seconds ago. If I try to change I love Linux to maybe I love Debian or I love Unix, okay, let me name Debian, and I try to do Control X, yes, and I click enter. You see, error writing Ola permission denied, except if I use sudo in this case, which is supervisor do. I'm actually running as the root user, as administrator user. The administrative privilege user. So I can actually not do anything to this file because the owner has actually changed the read and write permission. And then I can actually click Control X and say no in order to go out from that section. I hope you get my point right over there. The read is for 4. 2, if you get this cheat sheet very well, there is no how you will not be able to solve this problem, because I've noticed that this problem is actually a challenge for most beginners trying to learn penetration testing. The read is equals to 4, write is equals to 2, 1 is equals to X, and total, when we total 4 plus 2 plus 1, which is equals to 7, that means I can change the permission of ola.txt to 777 and ola.php. And when I do that and I do ls-l ola.php, now you can see everybody have read, write, and execute permission. Unlike before that, this user can only read the permission, he cannot write to the file. So let's check out the next command in our list, which is which is the RM command. Now, the RM command is a very sensitive command. The RM command is a very, very sensitive command in the sense that I don't know if you have seen this meme before, sudo rm dash rf.